Good morning. My name is Dr. Tunde Legude. I'm a senior lecturer at the University of Lagos, Department of Employment Relations and Human Resource Management. This morning, I'll be talking to you on managing without trade unions, why most organizations prefer not to have trade unions in the organization. But first, let us look at the learning objectives. At the end of this session, students will be able to understand the role of trade unions in the organization. This course we also teach students reasons for union avoidance strategies by management. Why management uh, will normally decided not to have trade union in the organization. The course will also teach students basic underlying philosophy and perspective of union avoidance strategies. And lastly, the course will also educate students on strategies adopted by management to administer the organization without the involvement of trade unions. Now, first, let us understand that trade unions play some significant role in the organization, and that's also enable the employer to maintain some relative peace and harmonious relationship with their workers. And it's enabled them to deal with collective interest of worker rather than dealing with workers on individual basis. So the existence of trade union ensure the promotion of the welfare of members and improving working conditions. That is the primary objective of trade union. Trade union also ensure industrial peace and harmony through collective bargaining representation with the management. And through labor management relations, they help to socially regulate the expression of conflict at work. Gone are the days where conflict expression has to do with destruction of production process, destruction of company properties. That was the idea in the early 1900s when industrialization emerged, when exploitation was at the peak. And lastly, it helped the employer to reduce the burden of managing individual worker and the cost of bargaining with each individual worker within the workplace. So those are the reasons why unions are very necessary in the organization. But despite the enormous advantage of having a trade union in the organization, it also comes with certain costs and negation on production process. Now, what are these negative impact of trade union on business process? Some of them are outlined here. Management at times perceive the use of strike power as a cost and damaging to the business of the employer because work stoppage amount to employer losing huge amount of money during the duration of throughout the duration of the strike. Employer lose huge amount of money, and that is a cost to them, and at times they may not recover from that loss. And also, unions compete with management for the loyalty of the employee. In a unionized organization, the loyalty of the workers are primarily to their union. So, and that affects some level of commitment to the organization. And also, trade union and collective bargaining are perceived as a process that delay work process and production, because when negotiation process started, it take a lot of toll on management. Hours of work will be lost. Man hour that's supposed to be directed to strategic decision will be spent on bargaining with the union at the bargaining table. So employers don't want that. They just want a free process in the organization. And of course, managing with trade union come with certain costs. And so those costs are expressed in both direct and indirect costs to the organization. So management normally prefer to manage the organization without presence of trade union in the organization, and that strategy is known in human resource management as union avoidance strategy. The junior avoidance strategy, or the process of managing the organization without unions, has basic underlying philosophy. And this underlying philosophy is known as unitary perspective. Uh, the unitary perspective believes that there is no conflict of interest between the owners of business and their workers. They also believe that the perspective also believe that employers and employees are joint partners in the common aims of efficient production, high profits, and good pay, and that everybody is a stakeholder in that organization. And therefore, managers and employees are united in the belief that they are part of the same team. So they must ensure to save the organization. Otherwise, both the employers and the employee will be destroyed, because if the organization is not protected by both parties, employers, the capitalists that invested their capital will lose their money, and workers will lose their job, and good jobs are very difficult to come by. So that is why they always argue that employers and employees are sailing together in a proverbial boat, that both parties must ensure the survival of the boat, otherwise they all perish in the troubled water, and that they are expected to have a strong leadership from to top to down in the process of working together in the organization.